working for the 104th time in a world title bout, referee Richard Steele. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the MGM Grand Garden, here at the MGM Grand Hotel, Casino, and Theme Park of Las Vegas, Nevada, somebody's O must go. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! 12 rounds of boxing for the super middleweight championship of the world. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the white trunks with gold trim and weighing in at 168 pounds. This 1988 Olympic silver medalist has a professional record of 26-0, 23 by knockout victory. Tonight, he steps up from the middleweight division, where he has already captured a world title and puts his perfect record on the line. Ladies and gentlemen, from Pensacola, Florida, introducing the challenger and former middleweight champion of the world, Roy Jones Jr. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black and weighing in at 167 pounds. He brings his outstanding record into the ring tonight of 44 victories without a loss. He has scored 29 KOs and has 2 draws. And while compiling that record, he has captured 2 world titles. Ladies and gentlemen, from Ann Arbor, Michigan, presenting the 2-time world champion and reigning super middleweight champion of the world, James Lights Out Toney.
All right, I spoke to both fighters in the dressing room. I'm cautioning you again. Obey my commands at all times. Shake hands. Good luck.
Jim, when we get unbeaten champions meet like this, we often get a kind of creative friction that bursts out into the pure flame. That's what we're looking for tonight.
One quick note, Gil and Larry. I was told late this afternoon by a source I trust from Roy Jones Jr.'s camp that he hurt his right hand in sparring a month ago, has not hit the heavy bag with the right hand for more than a month, has not thrown a power shot at a sparring partner with the right hand for more than a month. So he comes into the ring tonight with the right hand, a mystery to him and those around him.
Putting more and more emphasis on the left hook that does the most damage for him.
He's been throwing triple left hooks in sparring to make up for the absence of the right hand. And he throws the right hand there, seemingly with conviction.
And Jim, you notice when James Toney stalks an opponent or when he jabs, he has a tendency to drop that right hand, which can be very, very dangerous against a good left hooker like Roy Jones Jr. Here's that quick left hook, again from an unorthodox angle.
Toney has blocked all of those punches.
Jones short with the right hand there. Toney looking confident, if a bit defensive so far. Willing to wait, see what Jones has got here at the outset.
He's keeping his hands up and he's putting pressure on Roy Jones. And again, you can see the quickness of Jones, that side-to-side movement.
Jabbing and hooking with the left hand. Only a couple of right-hand shots so far by Jones. Nothing has landed. Toney has been cautious and measured in his approach. Right hand misses for James.
Punching it out. Punching it out.
Double left hook by Jones. Right hand was a glancing blow. James Toney told us he would be able to counter because he didn't think that Jones would be able to resist taking the lead in the fight.
Up to this point, Jones has been doing all of the leading.
There's a quick right hand by Jones, and it looks okay there. Jones's quickness, a factor here in round one. He's been able to double and triple up with the left hook.
Left hook. Good advice, Gil.
Absolutely. If he could nail Jones, if Jones misses that left hook, doing an awful lot of damage. And there's Toney trying to get off that big left hook.
It was blocked by Jones. Toney looking like he wants to open up a little bit more in this round after an exceedingly cautious first.
Don't hold him, don't break. Step back, step back.
Couple of body shots by Jones.
One sounded like it landed on the cup for him. And again, Toney carries that right hand across his chest. He's not protecting his chin. He got it up there, though.
And Jones managed to thunder one left hook behind Toney's guard, but most of these punches being blocked on the gloves by James Toney.
But again, if he throws 7 and 2 get through, he's still scoring some points. Toney has to punch back.
Toney hasn't found many openings.
And there was the quickness of Jones again. He made Toney miss and nailed him with 2 of those unorthodox punches. They come from all angles.
Right hand to the body by Jones. Finally, James Toney gets through with a left hook to the chest of Jones that drove him back into the corner. Good right hand lead by Jones.
Again, Jones makes a lot of very tactical errors, but he has such fast reflexes that he can get away with making mistakes.
Oh, don't hold him down.
There's that quickness.
Fast hand. Leaping with the left hook. Opened the glove as he threw the right hand to the body. Jones hurt the right hand against Bernard Hopkins a few fights back.
Get out. Don't hold him.
Toney sneaking in the right hand after Jones had landed over the top.
Break. Step back. Step back.
Again, these two fighters completely different styles. Toney is just trying to walk in, put a little pressure, physical and mental, on Jones. And Jones,
The left hook got behind the guard, Gil. Jones wobbled Toney just slightly with that left hook.
We got him short knock shots up a little bit. So when you detect him when he comes in. Especially when you twist him with the right hand, back with the left hook.
Here's the flurry at the end of the round by Roy Jones. None of those was a clean punch, but they are scoring punches. They will count in his favor. His quickness is decisive through the first 2 rounds.
On his head, let's go. Keep the control just like that. You're doing good. Keep it on. Stop pulling, let's go.
Big disparity in punch output in rounds 1 and 2. Would you tell James Toney to step up the activity level, Gil?
he's going to have to do something. He can't walk in without throwing punches.
Low blows by Jones. Steele didn't say anything. And still the edge in quickness is decisive, as Larry put it.
Quickness and reflex, Jim. I mean, he makes Toney miss, and he's so quick countering.
Get out the road. Get out.
Showboating by Jones. He attempts fade, I think. Left hook, and down goes Toney.
You know, his feet never hit the canvas.
But they're going to call it a knockdown anyway.
I agree, Larry. I don't think it was a knockdown. He wobbled back, but he did not go down.
Reggie Johnson knocked him down in 1991. This, if it is officially scored as a knockdown, is the second time in Toney's career that he's been down. Crowd on its feet. Jones with plenty of time left in the third.
Up to this point, it looks like that added weight that they put on James Toney is an albatross around his neck, because he's very, very slow. Or maybe it's Jones who's just that fast. But he's being completely outsped in this fight so far.
Jones looks fast against everybody, but he certainly looked faster against Toney than some might have suspected. Good counter by Toney. Jones says, come on.
That was Toney's best punch of the fight. He caught Jones coming, and nothing happened.
Right hand lead by Jones.
Punch to get out.
Unorthodoxy playing in his favor now.
He's fighting with so much confidence, Jim.
Right, step back.
Well, if he didn't use the right hand in sparring, he's using it here, and so far fairly effectively, although most of the heavy metal has come from the left.
Yes, but he has thrown that right hand to set up the left hook.
Sweeping left hook by Toney.
Come on, punch to get out, yeah.
And more quickness inside from Roy Jones. Good defense there by Toney, who was able to duck and flip.
Yeah, but it's okay to say no, but they're still scoring points for Jones.
Just a little off the mark. When we can get it on the mark, we take his right hand away from him. All right. It's just a little off the mark. But when you're going in jabbing, double up on the jab. I wouldn't drop.
Here's part of the debate going on with hand gestures and fists. We don't see from that angle whether Jones indeed went down. Perhaps we'll have another angle that we can see it. Here it'll tell us right now. You see his behind never hit the canvas, Gil.
Absolutely. I did not think it was a knockdown. He did stagger back, but he didn't go down.
Harold Letterman, let's open Harold quickly. Why might that have been scored a knockdown, Harold?
Jim, if the ropes are holding you up, if the ropes wouldn't have been there and you would have hit the canvas, that's a knockdown under the rules.
So in your view, is that a knockdown?
A knockdown for sure.
All right, round 4 begins. And given the knockdown, you've now got at least the possibility that Toney is 4 points behind on all 3 scorecards. Not necessarily, but it's possible.
Well, he's digging himself a big hole right now. We've seen him come back in the past from bad cuts, etc., but he can't get too far behind with this will-o'-the-wisp he's in there with.
You heard Bill Miller tell him to keep throwing the right hand, and he was trying it there, but he missed wide.
Well, in my opinion, he should be concentrating on the body.
Another left hook by Jones. That one didn't stun Toney, but it prevented him from throwing anything in return. Toney just not able to counter effectively, Gil, except for one time so far. Solid left hook there. Toney talking to Jones.
Again, what talking doesn't do you a bit of good. And the other guy's piling up points.
Is he ever?
Toney just looks like he can't get off. Whether it's Jones' movement that's bothering him or it's the extra weight that's bothering him, something's bothering him because he traps Jones and gets beat to the punch time after time.
Well, there was a good counter right, and he came with another right cross behind it. Jones throwing right hand in, left hook combinations, and a right hand over the top from Toney. And Toney just beginning to get off a little bit here in round 4.
No holding. Right, step back. No holding. Right, step back. Step back in.
Toney is getting closer to finding the range. Right now, you can just see him getting closer and closer to the mark.
Getting more active.
Right, step back, you hold it.
Good left by Jones as he wound the right hand up. He lands 3 or 4 more punches. The hand speed display continues spectacularly for Roy Jones.
Just unorthodox punches. Toney doesn't know where he is half the time. Where Jones is, I mean.
I'm having fun. Only a prize fighter, after taking some of these punches, could say that.
Give him up, Toney.
They trade shots to open round 5.
But again, Jones landed the last 2 punches of that exchange.
And the first 2 punches there. And James has nothing to throw. Two more left hands.
His unorthodox movement and the unorthodox punches are completely befuddling James Toney up to this point.
Right hand, left hand combination by Jones landed. Toney landed a left in return. Toney starting to snap to it a little bit, but still outgunned in almost every exchange.
Toney has got to punch to the body. Can't. That's where those punches belong. Stay downstairs for a while, then that head will come to you.
If he finds himself so far down that he's got to go for a late round knockout against Jones, that's going to be tough because of Jones's quickness and defense.
And if Jones finds himself comfortably ahead, he can certainly kill the clock. Big left hook. Big left hook by Jones. 2 left hooks.
Toney pretending not to be hurt, but he's wobbled. Now James lands a right hand in return. Toney trying to take advantage of the chance opened up by Jones's aggression.
Jones will not let Toney into this fight. Toney lands a hard punch. He comes back with 2.
Right.
Roy tried to end it with a right hand right there. Just missed.
Right hand counter by Toney, but Jones was moving away with the punch. Here's where Toney has to get off. When he has him on the rope, he's got to bank to the body immediately.
He's got to be busier. That left hand landed, but it was a glancing blow.
Talk about unorthodox. He spun around and landed the left hook. Jones is supposed to be the unorthodox guy.
Solid left hook by Jones. And you saw James Toney's head snap to the side again. Toney's got the lunch pail out. He's starting to go to work. But Jones continues to box circles around him and land the heavier shots as well.
Oh,
certainly answered some questions about whether he has the right stuff inside him in that round.
Well, he got nailed with a couple of punches, Larry, but again, he would not allow Toney to take the edge. Right back.
Get in back. Okay. There you go. You're doing good. The sixth round, baby. Coming in the sixth. Coming in. Okay. Here. Coming in the sixth.
Once again, let's watch those fast hands if we can see them, because James Toney doesn't apparently able to see them. There's a perfect example of an unorthodox punch coming when you don't expect it, Gil.
And you don't see it. Those are the ones that really can get to you.
James Toney has been talking about going up to heavyweight. He said the hardest part of every fight is making weight. It's only supposition, but you suspect at this moment that making weight this time took a lot out of James Toney.
I'm not ready to take any credit away from Jones, because what Jones is doing here is just dictating everything on his own, and I'm not sure it has anything to do with the weight yet.
61% landing percentage in round 5 for Jones. 37 out of 61, mostly power shots. Terrific stuff. Another left hook on the button by Roy Jones Jr.
And you notice that Jones doesn't set things up with a left jab. That's the unorthodox part of his style. He doesn't set things up. He'll move with his feet and all of a sudden leap in with that left hook, and it's very, very effective. But again, by doing that, he leaves himself open for a split second, but so far, nobody has been able to take advantage of it. Nobody that he's fought. He's so quick.
Punch it, get out. Punch it, get out. Keep him up. Don't hold him, don't hold him. Don't hold him, let him go. Let him go, let him go.
Again,
Crackling right hand.
Jones lands the last punch. Last tag. Roy Jones.
Break, step back, step back.
Toney's remembering now to go to the body when he gets Jones against the ropes.
And you notice that Toney just doesn't even try to throw a jab. He just paws out with it. But again, it's the footwork and that left hook, that fast left hook.
Oohing and dying with yet another left hook.
Same thing every time. There's no jabs involved. He doesn't have to feint the jab. He just leaps in quickly, gets an angle, and bang, right in there with that left hook.
And if you had told James Toney 2 days ago that Roy could do that, he'd have said, no way.
Punch it, get out. Punch it, get out. Break, step back, step back.
But you're right. He's done it all the way through tonight.
Let's keep on. Don't tie him up. Come on, keep on. Put your arm back. Break, step back, step back. Come on, you guys. Let's work.
There was a question again where Toney was just too slow getting off, and instead of Jones waiting to block a punch, beat him to the punch. He's back in the corner again, and again, who gets off first? Jones.
Halfway through the battle for James Toney's IBF Super Middleweight Championship so far. A spectacular, virtuoso performance by the challenger, Roy Jones Jr.
Get a little closer to this sucker now. Let it come here. I want you just some of the jabs, some of the hooks you go down. Come inside with it. That outside will stick the time, but come through the middle. All right. This time, put a little more pressure. Put a little pressure. We got him on our territory now. Coming into the championship round. Yes, sir. Bring through the middle. Through the middle. Gotta make he's flicking for everything you do. Every time you flick at him, man, he's going for it. All right. Okay.
Although we're only halfway through the scheduled 12 rounds, we're already at that stage where James Toney looks like he's going to have to do something dramatic to get back into the fight.
It would have to be very, very dramatic, Larry, like a knockout. We're counting that knockdown. He's already 7 points behind, and he's got 6 rounds to catch up.
He's done it in the past, but maybe not against fighters the quality of Roy Jones Jr. He was down on points when he knocked out Nunn in the 11th to win the World Middleweight Championship in '91. He needed to knock out Tim Littles in a specific round because of a bad head cut to win that fight, and did it against a fighter who'd never been down or out. So it's not out of the question, but this is still all Roy Jones as round 7 begins.
But again,
Solid left. Toney in a little bit of trouble.
again, Jones is really never directly in front of James Toney. He takes those angle shots, and Toney really doesn't know where the punches are coming from. There was a foul by Roy Jones. We have the rope and use that for leverage.
Don't hold the rope. Don't hold the rope.
And Steele tells him not to do it. James Toney just completely befuddled by Jones's speed, unorthodoxy, quickness.
Again, Toney, he's playing hide and seek with Toney in the ring. It's a square ring. They're both inside of it. Half the time, Toney doesn't know where he is. Yeah, waiting against the rope.
What in the world can Toney do, Gil, to nullify the effectiveness of Jones's left hook?
The only thing he can do is start banging to the body. When you have a guy against the ropes, don't even think. Throw a straight right hand to the body and try to come back with a left hook. You're going to hit something, even if you hit his arm. But if you hesitate, wait for an opening, Jones gets off first and beats him to the punch. Yeah, you can see Toney hesitating.
Good counter there by James Toney, but it's hard to find a round here that you might have given to the champion.
Punching it out.
What other middleweight could throw combinations with that hand speed, Gil?
I would have to go back a long way, maybe to the day to Sugar Ray Robinson. He can throw punches that fast and that effective.
Work out. Work your way out. Punch. Your hands are free. Pull your arm back, Roy. Pull your arms back.
And remember, this is 168 pounds, 8 pounds up from the old middleweight limit of 160.
Again, Jones comes back in the exchanges. Good left hook by James Toney.
Best punch of the fight for Toney, the left hook that ended round 7.
You hear me? Especially when we're inside. We got to take this way. We're on our territory now. We got to make our move.
Harold, 7 rounds, your score.
Larry, 70-62, 7-0, Roy Jones. I never saw a super middleweight throw 6, 7, 8 punch combinations like he throws. He's absolutely beautiful. The guy in the short pants is kicking the crap out of the other guy. I mean, knocking him from pillar to post. He is the only killer in Pensacola, Florida, who's not a right-to-lifer.
All right, let's watch what happens here on the ropes. Jones seems to have an edge, whether Toney is on the ropes or he's on the ropes. His hands, his fast hands, get him out of trouble.
Five rounds left.
So far, both fighters have caught some stiff punches, but they haven't really hurt each other that badly yet. I was surprised even Toney landed a few good straight punches. They just wiped right off of Jones.
I thought that Toney was hurt a couple of times during the fight, Larry. Not seriously, but hurt.
How about now? How about right now?
He's just being completely overwhelmed.
And I think a left hook to the body hurt James Toney badly to set this up. Jones landed a wallop to Toney's ribcage.
Keep him in front. Keep him in front.
James Toney hasn't thrown a punch since that body shot.
And look how cool Roy Jones
Keep him in
is.
front. Don't hold him. Right,
has knocked men out with body shots. Glenn Wolfe in the first round, for instance. And now Toney begins to throw again, but
tries to counter, but again, those reflexes of Jones, nothing's there when you punch at it.
2 more left hooks right on the button.
And the thing that amazes me, you know, you say Jones is a boxer. He does this without using a left jab.
Both men have dispensed with the jab completely. And this is just going to be a slugfest the rest of the way, isn't it?
James Toney always has had a good left jab. The outside, he proved it in the Prince Charles Williams fight. But again,
he's not using it. He's just walking in, Gil. There he paused with it a little bit. But the snapping left jab is gone from Toney's arsenal. Just walking in.
We thought Jones would move more away from Toney, but he's really been contemptuous of Toney in the last couple of rounds.
Again, he can go on the rope. No matter where he goes, Toney just can't hit him.
Sledgehammer right over the top by Toney. Glancing blow. Didn't get all of the targets.
Again, in that exchange, last tag by Roy Jones.
Toney showing some assertiveness now, but he took a lot of this round off after he took that crushing left to the body early on. There's a left hook by James Toney. And Jones comes back with a fury. And Steele stops Toney right in the middle of his best action.
What is Steele doing? What is Richard Steele doing?
He thought he heard the bell. And now he does hear the bell. And that really hurt James Toney. Steele comes over to talk to the timekeeper, trying to get the signal straight.
We got to get away from it. We got to get out of that box. We got to do some fighting.
There's Toney in a ring with only 2 other people, and he's looking for the fighter in it.
Round 9 begins. You saw the champion breathing hard in his corner.
Right now, this 168-pound championship belongs to Roy Jones. It's up to James Toney to win it back.
And Bill Miller still hasn't spoken to James Toney with any real sense of urgency, saying, James, you're going to have to do something big. You know, he's talking very, very matter-of-factly. Slipped by Jones, and Toney did not take advantage.
Toney a little more cautious than he's been in other fights. And Jones's left hand has shown us the reason why, over and over. You said before the fight, Larry Merchant, that Roy Jones Jr. was a mystery. How much of the unknown is left now?
Well, beyond any question, he's answered a lot of those questions. It's in his grasp.
Get out! Roy, step back, step back. Pull him back, Roy, pull him back. Pull him back, pull him back. Once again. Roy, step back, step back, step back.
Looks as if Roy Jones is taking a round off.
He may take the rest of the fight off, Gil.
Punch it out. Roy, step back, step back.
Combination by Jones. Left hook over the top by Jones. Toney trying to stalk, but not punching his way in effectively. Short left hook by Jones, the more effective of the two punches there. Toney's sweeping left missed badly.
Look at that footwork of Roy Jones, side to side. Again, last tag by Roy Jones. He lulls you to sleep and then he tries to put you to sleep.
3 rounds to go.
There you go. There you go. There you go. You feel that hand up there just like you did. Run it off. Right up there. Put it on his head. Other water bottle, Ronnie. I'm hit hard, man. Come on, give it to him. Give it to him. Right. Give him the other water. Good. We're down to our round. We got to make our move. We got to close the gap. You hear me? All right. Let's close the gap now. The 10th round, so we got to have it. I don't need but 9 minutes fighting. I got to have it. Step to him, baby. Like that.
So far, the Mongoose is too quick for the Cobra.
By this time, maybe James Toney's taken off about 7 or 8 pounds, Larry, so maybe he'll be a little quicker for the rest of the fight.
Hard to see so far what he could find that would do the necessary damage to Jones at this point.
Well, one big left hook, a right hand on the chin
could help.
At this weight, and the other guy can do a lot of funny things. You can just see the quickness of Roy Jones. Constantly moving, constantly feinting.
Don't hold him. Watch him get out of there. Pull him back. Pull him back. Right, step back to him. Step back.
Toney, so cool, so non-existent as he gave the first 2 rounds away. Then he got knocked down in the 3rd. And since that time, Roy Jones, to our eyes at least, has seemed to simply pile up the points.
Again, Jones is just such an unorthodox fighter. A couple of times in the fight, when he's against Rose, he actually pulls his head back, which is a fundamental no-no, but he gets away with it.
Jones again stepping in with that left hook and then gone as Toney looked around to find it.
Right now, they're cooling each other off with those missed roundhouse punches.
Punching it out of there. Punching it out. Break. Step back. Don't hold him up.
Again, Toney moves him into the corners and against Gross, but then he allows Jones to get off first. He's chasing. Nothing happens. Let's see who gets off first here.
Come on, work.
That was a dangerous left hook by James Toney.
Punching it out.
Thunderous right inside by Jones.
Step back.
Jones is looking at the clock. That could be an indication that he's starting to get a little tired.
Come on, let's work this side. Pull him back.
Chopping right hand for Toney.
Jones was moving away with the punch. Wasn't a very effective punch.
to have it in 6 minutes, James.
All right.
Show it to me. Okay, let's go. We got to have it. Keep him turning, champ. Don't give him nothing he want to have. Make him find you. Be that needle in the haystack. Be that needle. You got 2 rounds left, champ. 2 rounds left, and you remain. 2 rounds left, and you remain.
10 rounds, your score.
Larry, I thought James Toney stole the 10th round. Roy didn't do a heck of a lot. 9 rounds to 1, 99-90. Roy Jones, he is so quick. He's moving so nicely, landing so many great combination punches. You just can't take it away from him. James Toney was going to need a dynamite finish to win his fight.
Dynamite is the operative word. Going to have to throw a stick of dynamite in there to blow this man up, but I'm not sure that would do it.
Well, the only thing, in my opinion, now that can do it is a knockout.
Agreed.
Jones only threw 32 punches in round 10. That drops way down from his previous punch output. It was in the 11th round when Toney scored the dramatic comeback knockout of Michael Nunn back in 1991 that won him the middleweight championship. But Nunn was not the kind of power puncher that Roy Jones is.
You heard the advice to Jones in the corner, be a needle in a haystack. That's the way of the trainer telling him, get out of there, you got the fight won.
Gil, is it even possible that Toney deludes himself into believing that he's still got a shot at winning a decision here?
I would have to say the fighter, yes, but the trainer should know better. The trainer should be telling him, you need a knockout to win this fight.
Bill Miller hasn't said that at any point, has he?
No, he hasn't. He said, we need this 6 minutes. The 6 minutes won't do him any good, in my opinion, and on my scorecard. I think we're going to have an exciting 12th round. Again, Jones is killing the clock, not doing too much this round.
Butting an inside left against Toney's head there. Toney putting in the body work on the ropes, but it's probably too little too late. Crowd begins to try to lift the champion. Well, this goes to show you that James has built a following in his 3 years as a world champion.
Or there are a lot of people who bet on him.
Jones nails Toney with a solid left hook.
And Toney wobbles just slightly against the ropes again.
Look how calm Jones is in there. Sending range finders and hard punches. He's doing it all.
Watch it. Come on.
You're tempted to say, Larry, that for a decision to be taken away from Roy Jones here, it would almost have to be the Olympics.
Now, if this was taken away from Roy Jones, it would be worse than the Olympics. He may have been a little tired before Jones, but he's got a second win. He's right back in there now.
And still, James Toney showing none of the desperation-style commitment that we all think would be necessary for him to salvage the fight.
Got to have these guys. Got to have it, James. We need it. Come on. We need this here. I got to have this here. We need it. There's no more tomorrow. Hurry about it. This is it. On your head. Okay? I want you to catch them, put them 3 and 4 point combinations on them and go. On your head. I'm on your head. You want the final round. Okay? Boy, listen to me. Don't give him a chance. Don't give him a chance to take nothing, okay? Good. Pick that few plays over there, Bill. Okay. Go get him. Give it to me. Give it to me.
In the corner of the undefeated champion with the best record of any undefeated world titleist in the sport, there was silence for the last 20 seconds of that 1-minute break between rounds. Nobody said to James, you must have a knockout to win the fight. So now here comes Toney with his last 3 minutes to try to get something done against aspiring super middleweight champion Roy Jones.
Toney just takes so long to get off. He allowed Jones to escape. He's feinting. What is he waiting for?
Keep him up, punch to get out of there.
Good solid body punches by Jones.
Smart stuff.
Keep him in front.
At what point, Gil, does Jones simply try to stay away?
Well, the way they told him in the corner that don't take any chances, but throw some good solid punches. I mean, I know if I was in his corner, I'd be saying, they just kill the clock. You got the fight won. I didn't do that too often, but when the guy's this far ahead, why take any kind of chance?
Punch it, break. Come back.
I used to always tell my fighters, you have to win the last round, especially if you're near the guy's hometown.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have told Jones tonight that he had to win this last round, would you?
No, I would not have. As they say, in my opinion, there's no way they could take it away from him.
Been a spectacular display by Roy Jones. He continues to step in and fire the left hook from time to time. And Toney simply not busy enough to be building toward the climax he needs.
He just can't get off. The movement has been puzzling him all night long. Big right hand by Jones.
Right on the button. 1 minute to go.
Big left hook by Jones.
Yet another one.
And these are solid punches, which means that Toney has to have a chin of granite.
Punch to get out of there. Break.
The sand is running out of the clock for James Toney.
More than 6 years ago, Roy Jones Jr. was victimized by what most observers called the worst decision in the history of amateur boxing. It robbed him of an expected gold medal at the Olympic Games in Seoul in 1988. He's waited all this time to regain center stage. And now tonight, in the biggest fight of his career, against a man regarded by many as the most skilled champion in the sport, Roy Jones has been every bit as dominant as he was that day in Korea so long ago.
Given the kind of fighter that James Toney has been over the last year and a half, that's just a terrific performance by Roy Jones.
Yes, it is. And, we had mentioned about putting on all that weight, and I was told that he had done that in quite a few fights, but that eventually has to catch up with you, Larry. I don't think that James Toney was on top of his game tonight. I know Jones was great, but Toney was not Toney tonight.
Yeah, but I'm in Larry's corner on this one. Let's not harp on that too much, because any harping on it takes away from a spectacular performance by Roy Jones, which, in my view, and maybe in yours, Gil, answered just about every remaining question about it.
I thought he was absolutely great tonight. Again, he's a very unorthodox fighter. He does things his own way. I don't think he even knows what he's going to do, but boy, it's effective.
The fight plan for Jones was for a lot of power shots and very few jabs. He followed it to a T. Let's go to the ring announcer, Michael Buffer, for the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at the MGM Grand of Las Vegas, we go to the scorecard. John Stewart scores the bout, 119 to 108. Glenn Hamada scores it, 117 to 110. And Jerry Ross has it, 118 to 109 for the winner by unanimous decision. And new super middleweight champion of the world, Roy Jones Jr. Thank you. please stick around. More boxing to go here at the James Brand.
First loss of James Toney's career. Roy Jones moves to 27-0, and based on tonight's performance, the sky's the limit.